What's interesting about, between now and election, through the debate, all the rest of it, about how much she owns of the administration that she's in versus what she throws under the bus. I thought the idea that she was out there arm in arm, cuddles and everything with Biden on the public holiday, yes, unions, all the rest of it, but still, any proximity to him, you would think a little bit of, a bit of Joe gets on you, a little bit of kryptonite, which you don't want. But she seems to still be fine swimming in the same lane.
I mean, really, what choice does she have? Let's see if she brings him to Michigan. I'll wait. Right? She brings him to Pennsylvania, where he grew up, and not far from, it's sort of the working class vote, right, that she's trying to get, and the unions. So I know, but he's a liability to her, and she knows it. There's a reason she strategically deployed him in one state only so far. And what we're hearing is that she may now try to distance herself from certain aspects of the Biden presidency, including Afghanistan. Well, let's see about that. I mean, we realize she wasn't commander in chief, but she can't both have the benefit of trying to act like she was tough guy number 2 in there, last person in the room, saying, go for it, Joe. Love your plan. Let's do it exactly as you want. And by the way, she's another person who said it was a success, right? That it was handled brilliantly. She can't both take those positions and now say, oh, the truth is it was handled horribly and I had nothing to do with it. I think even this media will not let her get away with that, but we are hearing reports she's about to try to draw distance on Afghanistan. The economic plan, she's already embraced. I mean, the Wall Street Journal had an article last week talking about her tax plan. It's exactly like Joe Biden's. She's proposing all the same things he did, which is going to be an enormous new tax burden on most Americans, everyone earning more than $400,000. And that means small business owners are about to see their taxes go through the roof, which means people will get laid off. Prices will go up. And that's Joe Biden's tax plan. Bidenomics, she's already endorsed it. So she's in a pickle when it comes to the most important issue in this campaign. What she's doing instead right now is going hard on abortion, to the point where it's actually becoming the number one issue again in some polling. She's doing an effective job of driving the issue over and over again. And you saw Trump absolutely flailing this past 3 days on the issue. It's like he hasn't settled his position. He's throwing darts at a board like, well, maybe it'll help if I'm pro-choice now. And then his conservative base is like, what are you doing? We wanted a pro-choice. We would have stuck with Mitt Romney. We don't need you. Anyway, Mitt Romney says he's pro-life. But that's what she's doing. She's leaning hard into abortion, and we'll see whether that works, because this campaign is turning into a female versus male contest, and women in America are very, very motivated by the desire to take out unborn life.
Well, we've talked about this before, right? That if it's about abortion, then she's going to win, and she's going to win handily. But something that's going to help in terms of how abortion plays into the election is that there's going to be state referendum, as we call them here, ballot initiatives, as you call them there. And
Arizona and Nevada.
And Florida. Now, Florida should be won by the Republicans by 20 points. But polling on abortion, well, they're pro a very different system than the one the government has in place. So if swing states, and if Democrats want to win, they want to get it into as many swing states as possible, because that is going to be a huge determinant. Huge.
I cannot believe that in Florida there would not be split ticket votes. That maybe they'll go and they'll vote for a more relaxed abortion policy, but they'll vote Republican at the top of the line. Florida's red now. It's not purple. If she pulls out a win in Florida, then it's going to be a landslide Harris victory. But nothing in the polling is showing us that she's poised to even win. Never mind win by a landslide. So I don't see that happening. But it's a very smart strategy. This is how George Bush won re-election in 2004. They put gay marriage on the ballot in many of these swing states, and in particular, black voters were against it and came out to vote against it. And that's how he won re-election. It was Karl Rove re-election strategy. It won for the Democrats again in the midterms in 2022, post-Dobbs. And it's likely to drive some votes this election too. And if that happens, then we're just going to have to accept that here in America, we are still dealing with the post-Dobbs, which is the case that reversed Roe, fallout, and that Republicans may not be winning any elections until that fallout has settled and abortion policy has now been resettled by the states in a way that Democrats who are really motivated by this issue will rush to the polls to weigh in on. I mean, that's just a natural consequence of Dobbs. It's the way it had to happen. Dobbs had to happen. Roe was a lie. It was made up law. There is nothing in the Constitution that speaks to the stuff it said. And so in a way, the system's playing out exactly as it must. But Donald Trump needs to have a very clear message on this. And clearly he's rattled because he came out with absolute nonsense on Friday that was kind of alarming to see. One wonders what his internal polls are showing in places like Florida. The obvious conclusion is it's not good. And now he's swung his messaging back toward the more pro-life position, which also makes me think, is that good? Because clearly you're so rattled by whatever told you need to sound like you're pro-choice. So now you haven't solved it. So where are we? What is he seeing that we're not?
Well, exactly right. And when you don't have either a clear moral, religious, philosophical, whatever clear view on the issue, then you're not really able to fight the debate. If you are just in a scenario where, well, I need these people, but then I can't piss off these people, then, you know, they crush you because the side that's coming at you has a clear vision and all the way. Last one.
Well, not only that, Paul. So it's what she's doing. It's what she's doing right now on fracking and, you know, single payer health insurance, taking away private health insurance, and we could go down the list. She's just flipping all her positions because she realizes her actual views are too abhorrent to actually win election in America in a national race. And so how does it help Donald Trump to become the flip-flopper that she is on an issue as dicey and tricky as abortion? You cannot win as a Republican candidate for the presidency unless you are pro-life. That's just the way it is in the United States of America. The problem for Donald Trump is, I've said this a long time, he's not. I don't believe he's pro-life. He's pro-choice. He's been pro-choice his whole life. He understood what I just said, so he said he was pro-life when he ran for the presidency. He governed like he was pro-life. He put pro-life justices on the U.S. Supreme Court, which is how he got Dobbs. And now that this has become such a dicey issue, he's kind of, I believe, going back to his real feelings. I think this is probably the sincere Trump saying 6 weeks is too short and I'm not voting for that. And he's forgotten there is an important base in the Republican Party that they're not going to vote for her, but they might stay home. This issue is so important to them.
How do you feel about all of the fake accents that Kamala comes up with? It's very Hillary Clinton, isn't it?
I'm so grateful to her for them. I mean, what kind of a race would this be? Thank God we have characters like this in the news, Paul. What would you got to laugh, right?
Yes.
It can't be all like the horrors of, abortion and Gaza. Like, we need our levity, and she is the perfect vehicle. God love her. I don't know what to expect next. I'd love to see like her meet the Queen. Is she going to go full British royal family? I haven't heard that one. I mean, she's got like, the Indian roots. Maybe we could hear some of that. Let's hear the Indian accent. I don't know what we're going to get next, but I await it with bated breath because the mashups of her switching, or as the New York Times or whatever the publication was, like her effective code switching, they love it. If Donald Trump did that in front of a black audience, try to make himself sound like he had like an urban accent, he'd be getting called a racist for days. But she can do it even though she doesn't talk like that. I can't wait to see what she does next. She's very good at it, and it's highly entertaining.
Yeah, I'm with you. We've got to laugh because otherwise it's all too much. You're the best. We love you. We want everyone to check it out, the Megyn Kelly Show on YouTube, or obviously if you're in the States, Sirius XM. Lovely to see you, mate.
Thank you, Paul. Till next week.